Hello, boys and girls. My name is Winnie the Pooh. I'm a teddy bear. Sometimes I'm called a Pooh Bear, but I'm never called Winnie the Teddy, but only Winnie the Pooh, Bear. Clear? Well, anyway, I sing a lot, and I thought that if anyone read any of my songs in books, that they wouldn't know the tune because there were only words in the books and no tunes at all. And books don't make sounds. At least I hope someone read some of the stories about me. They were written by my father. Not father, father. His name is A. Milne, and he is an Englishman, and he wrote me. He's an author, but he's really like a father, so I call him my father. He's a very nice man, my father. He always used to call my songs the hums of Pooh, which is another way of saying the songs of Pooh. One day I said to him, Father, wouldn't it be fine if boys and girls knew my hums? Now they only know the words, but if they knew the hums, they could sing them together, which is the best way to do words and music. And he said,
My dear Pooh, that is a splendid idea, simply splendid.
I told you he was English. So he sent me over to his friend who lived nearby, a Mr. H. Fraser Simpson, who said he would be glad to hear my hums and put them down on paper so that boys and girls could hum them too. It didn't take a long time to do it, only about an hour, and when I had finished singing all my hums, Mr. Fraser Simpson turned to me and said,
Winnie, this was your finest hour.
He's English too. I'm not English. I'm childish. That is, I'm for children. I like children, and that is why I wanted them to know my hums. As we go along, I'll tell you a little about each hum and how I came to hum it in the first place. This is a song I sing when I feel ho-ish. Some people, when they feel like this, either look around for somebody to push over or else they break something accidentally. But I work off the ho feeling by singing a small ho song.
Ho, 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 ho. Sing ho for the life of a bear. Sing ho for the life of a bear.
I don't much care if it rains or snows, 'cause I've got a lot of honey on my nice new nose. I don't much care if it snows or thaws, 'cause I've got a lot of honey on my nice clean paws.
Sing ho for a bear, sing ho for a Pooh.
And I'll have a little something in an hour or two.
Sing ho for a bear, sing ho for a Pooh. And he'll have a little something in an hour,
ho, ho,
or two.
Now this is a song which I sing when anybody says anything that I don't quite understand. I could say, what? Or, I beg your pardon, but I always sing Cottleston Pie, which is a song I made up for singing when my brain felt fluffy. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie, a fly can't bird, but a bird can fly. Ask me a riddle and I reply, Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie, a fish can't whistle and neither can I. Ask me a riddle and I reply, Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie, why does a chicken? I don't know why. Ask me a riddle and I reply, Cottleston Pie. The title of this song is Lines Written by a Bear of Very Little Brain, and I won't say any more about it except that my friend Kanga said, yes it is, just as the fifth verse was beginning, so I shall never know just what happened on Friday. Anyhow, I hum it briskly. On Monday, when the sun is hot, I wonder to myself a lot. Now, is it true or is it not that what is which and which is what? On Tuesday, when it hails and snows, the feeling on me grows and grows that hardly anybody knows if those are these and these are those. On Wednesday, when the sky is blue and I have nothing else to do, I sometimes wonder if it's true that who is what and what is who. On Thursday, when it starts to freeze and hoarfrost twinkles on the trees, how very readily one sees that these are whose, but whose are these? On Friday, what did happen on Friday? This song I call Noise by Pooh. I sort of made it up one spring day. As I explained to Rabbit, it isn't brain, you know, because I've very little of that, but it comes to me sometimes. And Rabbit, who never let things come to him, but always went and fetched them, said, "Ah," encouragingly. Oh, the butterflies are flying, now the winter days are dying, and the primroses are trying to be seen. And the turtle doves are cooing, and the woods are up and doing, for the violets are bluing in the green. Oh, the honeybees are gumming on their little wings and humming that the summer which is coming will be fun. And the cows are almost cooing and the turtle doves are mooing, which is why a Pooh is pooing in the sun. For the spring is really springing, you can see the skylark singing, and the bluebells which are ringing can be heard. And the cuckoo isn't cooing, but he's cooking and he's oohing, and a Pooh is simply pooing like a bird. Piglet and I were having tea with Owl one blusterous day, and suddenly Owl's house was blown down and all the furniture in the sitting room rushed up to the ceiling, and the ceiling rushed down to the floor, and nobody knew where anybody else was. For a long time I was completely missing under a pile of chairs, and this is the song that I made up while I was waiting to be rescued. Piglet and Owl finally did look in the right place. I lay on my chest and I thought it best to pretend I was having an evening rest. I lay on my tum and I tried to hum, but nothing particular seemed to come. My face was flat on the floor, and that is all very well for an acrobat, but it doesn't seem fair to a friendly bear to stiffen him out with a basket chair. And a sort of squoze which grows and grows is not too nice for his poor old nose, and a sort of squatch is much too much for his neck and his mouth and his ears and such. This is my anxious song. I was anxious because Christopher Robin was giving a party to celebrate something I had done, and I was afraid that perhaps none of the others at the party would know about my brave rescue of Piglet from the rainwater, and they would say, "Why?" when Christopher Robin said, "3 cheers for Pooh," or whatever one says after a brave rescue. So I made up a song about how awkward it would be. This is the song.
3 cheers for Pooh.
For who?
For Pooh.
Why, what did he do?
I thought you knew he saved his friend from a wetting.
He did?
3 cheers for Bear.
For where?
For Bear. He couldn't swim, but he rescued him.
He rescued who?
Oh, listen, do I am talking of Pooh.
Of who?
Of Pooh.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. Who do you mean? Oh, Pooh. Pooh? Pooh who?
Well, Pooh was a bear of enormous brain.
Just say it again.
Of enormous brain.
Of enormous what?
Well, he ate a lot, and I don't know if he could swim or not, but he managed to float on a sort of a boat.
On a sort of a what?
Well, a sort of a pot. So now let's give him 3 hearty cheers.
So now let's give him 3 hearty witches?
And hope he'll be with us for years and years, and grow in health and wisdom and riches.
Oh, how nice. Oh, this is embarrassing. How awkward. Would you mind singing that again, and clearly and loud?
3 cheers for Pooh.
For who?
For Pooh. 3 cheers for Bear.
For where?
For Bear. 3 cheers for the wonderful Winnie the Pooh.
Please tell me again. What did he do? 3 cheers for who?
Why, Pooh, it's you.
This is the song which I sang on the expedition to the North Pole, led by my friend Christopher Robin, who was a very nice small boy. When I got to the end of the first verse, Christopher said, "Hush," because we were coming to a dangerous place, which explains why there isn't a second verse.
We all went off to discover the pole. Owl and piglet and rabbit and all. It's a thing you discover as we've been told by owl and piglet and rabbit and all.
Eeyore, Christopher, Robin, and Pooh.
And rabbit's relations all went too.
And where the pole was none of us knew. Sing hey for owl and rabbit and all. Sing hey for owl and rabbit and all his friends and relations.
And Piglet and Pooh.
And Kanga and Roo.
And Eeyore and Christopher Robin.
And all.
Hush.
This song shouldn't be here at all, as it was written by Eeyore, the old gray donkey. But I said it was better than any of mine, and Eeyore said it was meant to be. I really put it in here partly because it shows that poetry and rhymes are more difficult than people suppose. But mostly, it's here because it says goodbye to my great friend Christopher Robin.
Eeyore, Eeyore. Christopher Robin is going. At least I think he is. Where? Nobody knows, but he is going. I mean, he goes.
To rhyme with nose,
Do we care?
to rhyme with where.
We do very much. I haven't got a rhyme for that is in the second line yet. Bother. Now I haven't got a rhyme for that. Bother. Bother. Those 2 bothers will have to rhyme with each other. Bother. The fact is, this is more difficult than I thought.
Very good indeed.
I ought to begin again, but it's easier to stop.
It's going very well, Eeyore. Don't stop.
Christopher Robin, goodbye.
Good.
And all your friends all your friend send. Very awkward this, it keeps going wrong. Well, anyhow, we send our love. We send our love. We send our love. Well, anyhow, we send our love.
Well, there are some of the hums of Pooh, and while I'm about it, I thought you might like to know about the hums that go with some of the words from my father's other books. I could say the hums that go with some of the words from other books of my father's, but that isn't as clear as father's other books. Anyway, I thought it would be a pity to waste the other side of the record, since it already has grooves in it waiting for hums, even if they're not hums about me, so I didn't. Oh, I didn't waste the other side, I mean. It, meaning the other side, is mostly about Christopher Robin, meaning my good friend Christopher Robin. But come to think of it, they are not all about him. But I'm getting ahead of my hums. I should wait till we all get there. Anyway, if you will turn over the record, you will hear some more hums. That is what I mean. One day my friend Christopher Robin lost something that belonged to him, and nobody knew where it was. I knew where it was. It was missing. I told him that, and he said thank you. But it didn't help much.
Has anybody seen my mouse? I opened his box for half a minute just to make sure he was really in it. And while I was looking, he jumped outside. I tried to catch him. I tried. I think he's somewhere about the house. Has anyone seen my mouse? Uncle John, have you seen my mouse? Just a small sort of mouse, a dear little brown one. He came from the country. He wasn't a town one, so he'll feel all lonely in a London street. Why, what could he possibly find to eat? He must be somewhere. I'll ask Aunt Rose. Have you seen a mouse with a waffly nose? Oh, somewhere about. He just got out. Hasn't anybody seen my mouse?
I've just been looking at the music for this next hum for Christopher Robin, and it says that it should be sung animato, which means, of course, that it is about animals.
A lion has a tail, and a very fine tail, and so has an elephant, and so has a whale, and so has a crocodile, so has a quail.
They've all got tails but me. If I had a sixpence, I would buy one. I'd say to the shopman, let me try one. I'd say to the elephant, this is my one.
We'd all come round to see.
Then I'd say to the lion, why, you've got a tail.
And so has the elephant, and so has the whale.
And look, there's a crocodile, he's got a tail. They've all got tails like me.
This is a hum about a favorite place of Christopher Robin's. I have a favorite place, too. You know where it is? With him.
Halfway down the stairs is a stair where I sit. There isn't any other stair quite like it. I'm not at the bottom, I'm not at the top. So this is the stair where I always stop. the stairs isn't up and isn't down. It isn't in the nursery, it isn't in the town. And all sorts of funny thoughts run round my head. It isn't really anywhere, it's somewhere else instead. It isn't really anywhere, it's somewhere else instead.
There was nothing that Christopher Robin liked to do better than to watch the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. If you listen carefully, you can hear the soldiers marching. Alice, Christopher's nurse, is there because her name rhymes with palace. And for other reasons, too.
They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. Alice is marrying one of the guard.
A soldier's life is terrible hard.
Says Alice.
Right, Jonah! On!
They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. We saw a guard in a sentry box.
One of the sergeants looks after their socks.
Says Alice.
Right, on! On!
They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. We looked for the king, but he never came.
Well, God take care of him all the same.
Says Alice. They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. They've great big parties inside of the grounds.
I wouldn't be king for 100 pounds.
Says Alice.
Hurry up! On!
They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. A face looked out, but it wasn't the king's.
He's much too busy assigning things.
Says Alice. They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice.
Do you think the king knows all about me?
Sure to, dear, but it's time for tea.
Says Alice.
Have you ever noticed that grown-up people always ask questions like, "How are you today?" Or, "How did you like the candy?" Or, "How do you like school?" But mostly, "How are you today?" Christopher made up a secret song about it.
If people ask me, I always tell them quite well, thank you, I'm very glad to say. If people ask me, I always answer quite well, thank you, how are you today? I always answer, I always tell them if they ask me politely. But sometimes I wish that they wouldn't.
Decisions are hard to make, and everybody should think a lot before making them. That is why Christopher sings this song quietly with his head to one side.
What shall I call my dear little dormouse? His eyes are small, but his tail is enormous. This is his tail. So is this. I sometimes call him Terrible John, 'cause his tail goes on and on and on. And I sometimes call him Terrible Jack, 'cause his tail goes on to the end of his back. And I sometimes call him Terrible James, 'Cause he says he likes me calling him names. But I think I shall call him Jim, 'cause I am so fond of him.
This is a song about people that shouldn't be there, and sometimes they're not, but it's not too frightening.
In a corner of the bedroom is a great big curtain. Someone lives behind it, but I don't know who. I think it is a brownie, but I'm not quite certain. Nanny isn't certain, too. I looked behind the curtain, but he went so quickly. Brownies never wait to say, "How do you do?" They wriggle off at once because they're all so tickly. Nanny says they're tickly too.
Sometimes Christopher made up dangerous games so that he could be brave in them. And he was. So this dangerous walking hum should be sung bravely.
Whenever I walk in a London street, I'm ever so careful to watch my feet, and I keep in the squares and the masses of bears who wait in the corners all ready to eat. The sillies who tread on the lines of the street go back to their lairs, and I say to them, "Bears, just look how I'm walking in all of the squares."
And the little bears growl to each other, "He's mine," as soon as he's silly and steps on a line. And some of the bigger bears try to pretend that they came round the corner to look for a friend. And they try to pretend that nobody cares whether you walk on the lines or squares.
But only the sillies believe their folk. It's ever so important how you walk, but it's ever so jolly to call out, "Bears!"
This is a place for a triumphant laugh, if you think you can manage it. Ready? Laugh.
Just watch me walking in all the squares.
Christopher Robin always went to sleep at bedtime, which is usually at the end of the day. But before he did, he always said his prayers and almost never forgot anyone.
Little boy kneels at the foot of the bed, droops on the little hand's little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares, Christopher Robin is saying his prayers.
God bless Mommy, I know that's I can see Nanny's dressing gown on the door. It's a beautiful blue, but it hasn't a hood. Oh, God bless Nanny and make her good. Mine has a hood, and I lie in bed and pull the hood right over my head, and I shut my eyes and I curl up small, and nobody knows that I'm there at all. Oh, thank you, God, for a lovely day. And what was the other I had to say? I said, bless Daddy, so what can it be? Oh, now I remember it. God bless me.
Little boy kneels at the foot of the bed, droops on the little hand's little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares. Christopher Robin is saying his prayer.
Well, that's what I call mostly the hums of Christopher Robin. Now, if you want to hear some of my hums, you can turn the record over and hear Hums of Pooh, or Pooh Hums, as I sometimes call them. That is, unless you've heard them already, but then maybe, perhaps, you might want to hear them again.